Good everybody, my name is BuddyProBro, and welcome to a reaction video that was requested a long time ago. I decided not to do it because I wanted my reaction videos to be perfect, and I'm now saying, you know what, fuck you, I'm doing my reaction videos the way I want to. Today we're going to be reacting, yes, to the CreepyPasta legend Laughin' Jack. If you guys don't know what Laughin' Jack is, this is a clown. I do believe he invaded some kid's dream and then eventually became a reality, torturing his follower and everything. I do believe that's what the story is, but we're watching 16 minutes of this video. It's also by Mr. Oh shit, who was it by? Fuck, it's from Mr. CreepyPasta. Make sure to check him out. Link of his channel and the original video will be down in the descriptions down below. And I'll see you guys next video. I couldn't find a scary game to play, so we're reacting to a creepypasta. I'm sorry that's how it is, but that's how it is. So let's get to this. Fucking do this, bitch. Mr. Creepypasta. I thought your mom right in the ball. Pop goes the weasel. Just taking a bite and then
It was a nice summer day. My 5-year-old son, James, was playing outside in the backyard of our suburban home. James has always been a quiet boy. He plays by himself mostly. He never had many friends.
That's not good.
But he's always had a wild imagination.
Yeah.
I was in the kitchen feeding our dog Fido when I heard what sounded like James talking to someone in the backyard.
Was it James Bond?
I'm not sure who it could be that he was talking to.
It was James Bond.
Could he have finally made a friend?
Yeah, James Bond.
Being a single dad, it's hard for me to always keep an eye on my son, so I decided to go outside and check on him. When I went out into the backyard, I was a bit confused because James was the only person back there.
It was James
Was
Bond.
he talking to himself?
No, James Bond.
I could have sworn I heard another voice.
Listen, it was James Bond, okay? He fucking was talking to your son and then swooped out of here like a fucking ninja because he knew you were coming. Because he's James motherfucking Bond. That's who it was, James Bond. Accept it.
James! It's time to come inside!
Well, James
I called out
Bond.
to him. He came inside and sat down at the kitchen table.
And then said, Dad, listen here. I'm sick of tired of your shit, okay? Me and James Bond are trying to fucking save the world from so many people. And you have to interrupt our shit. You need to knock it the fuck up, Dad. Don't slap you in the fucking face. It's gonna fucking happen one day. And we'll be like, Dad, I love you so much. Pretend to give you a hug and a nut slap. You're gonna get nut cracked so fucking hard. You're gonna cry like a little bitch. Knowing that I'm the owner of Coca-Cola, you're like, son, you're grounded. I'm like, grounded? Oh. You're funny. Let's continue.
It was about lunchtime, so I decided to make him a turkey.
Hold on. The sad thing is, guys, I'm in a really hyped mood. Like, fucking hyped as shit. I fucking jumped and dabbed in the air. That's how hyped I am. And I can't find one single scary game to fucking play. And I've been looking ever since I got home. And still haven't found one single fucking game to play. So, we're reacting to the fucking clown himself, Laughin' Jack. God damn it.
Sandwich. James, who are you talking to out there? I asked. James looked up for a moment. I was playing with my new friend, he said, smiling. I poured some milk and continued to pry, as any good father would. Does your friend have a name? Why didn't you, ask him to have lunch with us? I asked.
Because he fucked your bitch.
James stared at me for a moment before replying.
Listen, Dad, I can't.
His name is Laughin' Jack.
Yeah, Laughin' Jack. That definitely sounds like a wonderful friend name. I thought it was James Bond, but technically it was Laughin' Jack. Oh, wonderful. Another clown bitch that wants to be a fucking trend. Now, listen, guys. We're going to have a costume thing at school. I'm going to dress up as a clown. Because I bet you, since this trend is going so viral, everybody at school this time is going to wear clown suits. Usually there's like a few people wearing clown costumes. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot. And there's going to be so much that they're probably going to not allow you to wear masks, knowing that if any clown guy knows about this, serial killer knows about this, he could probably just walk in as a fucking pretending to be a student. Like, listen here, I'm a student. I'm going to fuck you up. You know? And just do stuff. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I was a bit taken aback by what he said. Oh? That's a strange name. What does your friend look like?
He looked like a clown.
I asked, a bit confused. He's a clown. He has
Yeah.
long hair and a big swirly cone nose.
Yeah.
He's got long arms and baggy pants with striped socks. He always smiles. I realized my son was talking about an imaginary friend. I suppose it was normal for kids his age to have imaginary friends, especially when he has no real kids to play with. Probably just a phase.
Tell you son that would be a boss.
The rest of the day went as usual, and it was starting to get late, so I put James to bed, tucked him in, gave him a kiss, made sure to turn on his nightlight before I closed the door.
And you fucked him.
I was pretty tired myself, so I decided to go to bed not long after.
Because you were fucking him.
I had an awful nightmare. It was dark.
Here we go, buddy.
I was in some kind of a rundown amusement park. I was scared, running through
down
an
my
endless
ass.
field of empty tents, broken down rides,
Hey!
and abandoned game
Would you be
huts.
quiet, right? Would you be
The
quiet?
whole place
I'm
had a
making a video.
horrible look to it.
I'm making a video. You gonna knock it off? You gonna knock it off? You gonna knock it off? Oh yeah? Oh yeah, evidence, mom. You're gonna go to jail now. You're gonna kill me in my sleep, mom. I'll kill you first.
Bring it.
Bring it.
bitch.
Wait, don't call me bitch. Fucking muffin. Muffin top. Muffin top. Yeah, back off. Muffin top. Yeah, back off. You can't even think. No.
Fuck you, butt slut.
Yeah, no. That's my thing. You messed up.
Everything was black and white.
No!
Eyes stuffed animals all hung from nooses in the game huts, all with sick grins stitched into their faces. It felt like the whole park was looking at me, even though there wasn't any living thing in sight. And then suddenly I began to hear music play.
The fuck is that?
The sounds of Pop Goes the Weasel being played on
Oh
a
my god.
squeak box echoed through the park.
I fucked your bitch
It was
right in the
hypnotizing.
butthole. Pop goes the
I followed its
weasel.
tune to the
I
circus
stick
tent,
my
almost in a
finger
trance,
your
unable to
stinker
stop my legs from
pooper
moving
in the
forward.
stupor.
It was
I
pitch
fucked her
black.
in the
The only
butthole
light
today,
came from a
licking on
single
the
spotlight
pooper.
shining on the center of the big top. As I walked towards the light, the music slowed down. I found myself singing along, unable to stop.
Fart box.
All around the mulberry bush, the monkey chased the weasel.
You suck at singing.
The
Shut the fuck up.
monkey thought was all in fun.
Pop goes the weasel.
And the music stopped right before its climax. And suddenly,
I didn't know
the
you
light
could
shot
sing.
on. The intensity of the light was practically blinding. All I could see was a small dark silhouette shuffle towards me. Then another one appeared. And another? And another. There was a dozen of them, all coming towards me. I couldn't move. My legs were frozen, and all I could do was watch as the haunting figures drew near me. As they got closer, I could see
Follow
they were
Forza Mod.
children. As I looked at each one, I noticed that they were all horribly disfigured and mutilated. Some had cuts all over their bodies, others were severely burned, and others were missing limbs, even eyes. The children enveloped me, clawing at my flesh, dragging me to the ground, and tearing inside me. As the children tore me apart and I faded away, all I could hear was laughter. Horrible, evil, awful laughter. I woke up the next morning in a cold sweat.
Cold sweat.
After taking a few deep breaths, I looked over and saw that a few of James's action figures were positioned facing me on the top of my nightstand.
Weird.
I sighed. James had probably woken up early and put these here.
Yeah, you think. Yeah, that's what you
I
fucking
gathered up
think.
the toys, made my way over to James's room. However, when I opened the door, James was sound asleep. I just shrugged and placed the toys back in his toy box,
Yeah, you think
headed
I
out
was
to the
nothing?
living room.
Bullshit. I would have.
A little while later, James woke up and I made him breakfast. He was quiet, seemed a bit groggy. Perhaps he didn't sleep very well. I decided to ask him about the toys. And James, honey, did you put the toys in Dad's room this morning?
Why'd you call him honey?
His eyes shot up at me for a moment,
Are you fucking gay?
and then quickly glanced down at his cereal. Laughing Jack did it.
Laughing Jack.
I rolled my eyes and responded, "Well, you tell Laughing Jack to keep the toys in your room." James nodded and finished up his breakfast, then decided to go out and play in the backyard.
With James Bond.
I went to relax in the living room and must have dozed off because I woke up a couple hours later. Shit! I need to go check on James. I was
James
a bit
Bond.
worried that it had been over 2 hours and I hadn't checked on him. I stepped out into the backyard, but James wasn't there anymore.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I was getting nervous, so I called him out. James! James, where are you?
James, honey!
Just then, I heard a giggle coming from the front yard. I rushed through the gate and around the front of the house. James was sitting on the sidewalk. I breathed a sigh of relief and walked over to him.
He has no eyes.
James, how many times have I told you to stay in the back? James, what are you eating? James looked up at me and then reached into his pocket and pulled out a handful of hard candies in all colors. This made me very nervous. James, who gave you that candy? James just stared at me, not speaking.
It was Mr. Franklin across the street. He really wants to fuck your son. Ah! He wants the D.
James, tell Dad who gave you that candy.
I told you it was fucking Franklin McNiggan, across the street, in his little minivan. He walked up, like, "Hey, little boy, you want some candy? It's almost Halloween." She's like, "I can get candy on Halloween." He's like, "But this is special candy filled with special flavors." And he's like, "With my dad?" "You don't need your dad. I got candy right here. Nice rocky dick candy, that's for sure." I'm like, "Get the fuck away from me, Franklin, please."
James hung his head low and said, "Laughing Jack gave it to me." My heart sunk. I knelt down and looked him in the eye. "James, I've had enough of this damn Laughing Jack thing. He's not real. Now, this is a very serious situation. I need to know who gave you that candy."
I'm telling you, it was fucking Franklin across the street. You could go over there, walk him out, and asking me for yourself. You'd be like, "Franklin, did you give my kid some candy?" You'd be like, "Yeah, I gave him a Nick thick, hard fucking Tootsie Roll, that's for sure." And he would be honest, because he embraces his pedophilia and being pedophile and stuff. So, give him props for that. Don't give him props. If you fucking clap, if I realize you clapped during this video because you gave him props, I'm gonna fucking hunt you down. I'm gonna fucking fuck you, okay? It's gonna fucking happen. This dick will be inside you. Inside you. Inside you.
I could see my son's eyes tearing up. "But Dad, Laughing Jack did give me the candy."
Listen, it's not Laughing Jack. Franklin across the street. Get it right.
I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. James had never lied to me, but what he's telling me is impossible. I made him spit out the candy and throw the rest away. James appeared to be fine. Maybe I'm just overreacting. After all, he could have gotten it from Tom and Linda from next.
Yeah, Tom and Linda from next door. Well, guess what? Also, they work for Franklin, which means they're their pedophile pimps, or their pedophile hoes. So what these pedophile hoes do is they fuck little kids and get money from them. That's what Franklin has a business. You don't notice this because the reason why he's thinking a clown gave it to him is because they told him all about a story about Laughing Jack. They fucked him and said, "Listen, Laughing Jack fucked you. Don't tell your dad." So shit happened,
Or Mr. Walker down the street.
Yeah, Mr. Walker down the street. Ha ha ha. Yeah, here's a hoe.
Either way, I'm gonna have to keep a close eye on James.
Yeah, you might want to keep an eye on him because Mr. Franklin's a big old pimp.
That night, I put James to bed as usual and decided to go to bed early myself. Suddenly, I was awoken by a loud bang coming from the kitchen. I sprung out of bed and hurried down the stairs. When I got to the kitchen, I was horrified.
Was it my dick?
Everything on the counters had been thrown to the floor.
Yeah, my dick.
Our dog Fido hung dead.
Listen. I'm in some kinky shit, okay? So, the dog hanging from the ceiling wasn't me. Like, we were fucking, but I did not hang the dog. He probably hanged himself. He's probably into like asphyxiation or something like that. Like he probably loves that shit. So that's just something to warn you about. Okay, we're back, guys. Oh my
from the
god.
light fixture.
Shit!
His stomach was cut open and stuffed with candy, the same type that James was eating earlier that day. My shock was quickly broken by a sharp scream coming from James's room, followed by loud crashes. I quickly grabbed the knife from the drawer and moved up the stairs with a speed that only a father whose child was in danger could have. I burst through the door and flicked on the lights.
Pepper spray him!
Everything in the room was knocked over and tossed to the floor, and my poor son was in his bed crying and shaking with fear. A pool of urine stained the sheets.
No.
I scooped up my child and ran out of the house,
Missed
went next
himself.
door to Tom and Linda's house, and luckily they were still awake. They let me use the phone to call the police. It didn't take them long to arrive, and I explained what happened. They looked at me as if I was crazy. They searched the house, but all they found was the dead dog and 2 trashed rooms. The officer told me that someone had probably gotten into the house and done this right before making a quick escape, when they heard me coming up the stairs. I knew it wasn't true. All the doors were locked. None of the windows were open. Whatever was in my house didn't come from outside.
Came from inside these nuts!
The next day, James stayed inside. I didn't want him to leave my sight. I went to the garage, found my old baby monitor, and set it up in his room.
I see teeth.
If anything comes into his room tonight, I was going to be able to
Fuck
hear
him
it.
up. I'm gonna fuck him up.
I went to the kitchen, grabbed the largest knife from the drawer, put it on my nightstand. Imaginary friend or not, I'm not letting anything hurt my little boy.
You do that. You do that.
Soon
you
enough,
do
night
that.
came.
Do that. Dad power. Dad
I put
power.
James to bed. He was afraid, but I promised him that I wouldn't let anything hurt him. I tucked him in, gave him a kiss, turned on the nightlight, and before closing the door, I whispered to him, "Good night, James.
The last word he
I
ever
love
heard.
you."
Oh, you love your son? Gay.
I tried to stay up as long as I could, but after a few hours, I felt myself drifting off.
Don't you sleep.
My baby would be safe for the night,
Fight
and I
it.
needed to sleep.
Fight it more than I fight
And
my
just
own
as I laid my
farts.
head down on the pillow, I heard a soft noise come from the baby monitor that I had put on my nightstand. At first it sounded like interference, like the kind a radio would make.
Mm-hmm. I understand.
Then it turned into a soft moan.
Who's having sex in your... Oh, dude, it's Franklin, dude. It's Franklin. He's fucking your son, dude. You better go in there right now. I swear to God, if you don't go in there right now, your son's gonna be fucking laying there, shameful, broken, and felt like he just got violated. You better run into that room right now because it's fucking Franklin fucking your son right now. I swear, I shit you not, it's probably Franklin right now.
James asleep? Then I heard it. The laugh from my nightmare, that horrible laugh.
Sorry guys, I was watching Teen Titans.
I sprung up from the bed and grabbed the knife from under my pillow. I rushed over to James's room and creaked the door open.
We get distracted by everything.
I tried the light switch, but it wouldn't come on.
Of course it wouldn't. Your fucking son got fucked by
I took a
Frank.
step in, and I could feel the warm, thick liquid on my feet.
Blood.
Suddenly, James's nightlight came on, and I could see... I could see the absurd horror laid out in front of me.
And she did? Are you...
James's body was nailed up on the wall. The nails pierced through his hands and feet, and his chest was cut wide open, and his organs hung down to the floor, and his eyes and tongue had been removed along with most of his teeth, and I was disgusted. I could hardly believe that this was my baby boy. And then I heard it again. That soft, desperate moan.
Yeah, Frank.
God.
He fucked your boy and killed him.
James was still alive! My baby, my poor boy, in such pain, could barely cling to life, and I ran across the room and I vomited on the floor, but my sickness was interrupted by a horrible cackle coming from behind me, and I spun around, and while I was still wiping bile from my mouth, then out of the shadows emerged the fiend responsible for the horror. Laughing Jack. His ghost white skin and matted black hair hung down to his shoulders. He had piercing white eyes surrounded by black rings. His twisted smile revealed a row of sharp, jagged teeth, and his skin didn't look like skin at all. It almost looked like rubber or plastic. He wore a patchy black and white clown outfit with striped sleeves and socks.
Yep.
His body itself was grotesque. His long arms hung down past his waist. The way he was poised made him look almost boneless, like a rag doll. He let out a sickening laugh as if to let me know that he was pleased. My reaction to his
Sick
work.
clown, you died of sleep.
I turned around slowly in front of James and began to laugh even more at the horrific sight that he laid out.
You proud of yourself?
That was enough to shake me from my terror, and I snapped, "Get away from him, you bastard!" I rushed at the monster, raised the knife above my head, and
Wait, what,
stabbed down at him. But as soon as the knife touched him, he disappeared like a cloud of black smoke. The knife passed right through him and pierced James' still beating heart,
What?
splashing the warm blood on my face.
You're fucked now. James is dead now.
What have I done? My baby. I've killed my baby. I immediately fell to my knees. I couldn't hear. I could hear sirens in the distance growing louder, and my boy, my sweet baby boy. I promised that Daddy would protect you, but
Didn't happen.
I failed.
You failed at life. Congratulations, you're a sack of shit that fucking killed your own
I'm
son.
sorry, James.
No, you can't be sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Fucked him up. Fucked your bitch right in our hole.
Police soon arrived and
Sticked
found me in
it
front of my
your
son,
boot.
still wielding the knife covered in my baby's blood, and the trial was short. Insanity. I was placed in
So emotional.
Ferropolis House for the Criminally Insane, where I had been for the past 2 months.
I'm so sorry.
It's not bad here. The only reason I'm awake now is because someone is playing Pop Goes the Weasel outside my window.
Oh, that fucking dick ass clown.
I'll talk to the orderlies about it in the morning.
The fuck you think you are, you piece of shit, grabbing at me like that, you fucking long man, little bitch. Little bitch. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you like this, hit that like button down below for some more content, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Tell me suggestions for some more videos to react to. Scary videos. I want some scary videos to react to, because if I can't figure out any more games, scary games to play, I will be doing reaction videos on scary gameplay Mondays and Fridays, and of course, Balanced Heart. Yeah. See you guys in the next video. Oops.
I torture you, take my hand through the flame. I torture you, I'm a slave to your games. I want it.
Used all my hype. I'm now tired as a motherfucker. I'm gonna go to bed. Bye.